The sirens are wailing across Henderson Field. It's late 1942 on Guadalcanal, and the air is thick with coral dust and a suffocating heat that seems to rise right off the ground. A flight of Marine Grumman F-4F Wildcats claws its way into a blood-orange sky, the roar of their engines a desperate prayer against the coming darkness. The Coast Watcher's warning crackled over the radio just minutes ago. Betty's inbound. With a full escort of Zeros, they're coming at last light, the worst possible time. This is the hour when a single mistake, a moment of hesitation, means ditching into the black. Shark-infested waters of Iron Baton Sound. Let's put you in the cockpit. Sweat stings your eyes inside your oxygen mask. The sun is a blinding orb, low and hostile over the slot, turning the sky into a furnace of gold and red. Your instruments are already dimming, the horizon dissolving into a shimmering glare that makes your head ache. You're gripping the stick so hard your knuckles are white. Scanning the sky, your neck muscles screaming from the constant swiveling. Your squadron mates are dark shapes against the light, their wings rocking gently as you all climb for altitude. Fuel is everything now. The needle on the gauge is more than just a number. It's a ticking clock that dictates your chances of making it back home. Then you see them. Silhouettes, tiny at first, growing with terrifying speed. They're coming out of the west, out of the sun's blinding heart. Sleek, impossibly agile Mitsubishi Zeros slicing down from above. Your stomach plummets. This is it. The first jolt of contact is a shock to the system. Bright, angry lines of tracer fire suddenly slash across the golden canvas of the sky. They seem to hang in the air for a moment, beautiful and deadly. The nose of your Wildcat feels heavy, laden with 6.50 caliber machine guns, a beast straining at the leash. Your training screams at you. The briefings echo in your mind, a cold, hard litany of facts. You know the Zero can outturn you, outclimb you. At low speeds, it's a phantom, dancing circles around anything the Allies can throw at it. Your instinct is to brake hard, to pull into a tight turn and meet them head-on, but you fight it. You remember the gunnery table logic, the cold math that gave birth to Lieutenant Commander Jimmy. Thach's brilliant defensive maneuver, the Thach Weave. You and your wingmen are a team. A pair of scissors designed to cut down the hunters. But you have advantages too. Your Wildcat is tough, a flying brick that can absorb an incredible amount of punishment and still bring you home. The Zero, for all its grace, is fragile. No armor for the pilot, no self-sealing fuel tanks. A few well-placed 50 caliber rounds can turn one into a ball of flame. Your greatest strength, though, is in the vertical. The Wildcat can dive like a hawk, its roll rate far superior. You can escape a fight the Zero can't follow, plunging towards the water and using that momentum to reposition. But here at sunset, the rules change again. The fading light plays tricks on your eyes. Depth perception is shot. Judging distance and speed becomes a deadly guessing game. The sun is no longer just a source of light. It's a weapon, a tactical advantage to be seized. Glare can blind an enemy or hide an entire formation. The horizon blurs with the sea, creating a disorienting world of shadow and light where up and down can become dangerously confused. Every decision is magnified, every second stretched into an eternity. A voice crackles in your headset, calm and steady amidst the engine roar. It's your flight leader. Tally-ho! Bandits, 11 o'clock high. Form up for a weave. Portside, you take the brake. The order is given. The formation tilts, a synchronized movement of steel and courage. Your wing banks hard, and the world outside your canopy becomes a swirling vortex of gold, crimson, and deepening blue. You pull into the defensive pattern, turning towards your wingmen, presenting the incoming Zeros with a constantly shifting target. The glare of the setting sun floods your cockpit as you turn, and for a tense, breathless moment, you can't see a thing. A quiet, chilling question hangs in the air, unspoken but felt by every pilot in the sky. Who owns the sun now? Throttle to the firewall, my whole world is the engine's scream. The stick feels heavy, like it's fighting me, begging me to pull back and turn with him. But I can't. You turn with a Zero, you die. That's the first thing they teach you. My wingman, Jimmy, is out there somewhere, a blur of blue-gray crossing my canopy. Weave, Thach, weave. He cuts left, I cut right. The Zero behind me hesitates, a split second of indecision. He can't follow us both. He chooses Jimmy, wrong choice. I roll hard, pulling the nose around. There he is, crossing my sight. The world slows down, a gentle squeeze on the trigger. The Wildcat shudders as the 650s roar to life, a wave of orange tracers reaching out across the darkening sky. They stitch across his wing root, little flashes of brilliant light against his pale green fuselage. He pulls up, trailing a thin line of smoke, then another, thicker and blacker this time. Got him. He rolls over, a wounded bird spiraling down toward the glittering sea. One less. The air is thick with chaos. Below us, Henderson Field is a storm of black puffs as the gunners track the Big Betty bombers lumbering towards their target. I see splashes in the channel, tall white columns of water where someone else's fight just ended. The sun is a sliver on the horizon, a blinding gold coin that makes the whole world vanish, then reappear. A zero flashes through the glare, impossibly close. I bank hard, diving, trading precious altitude for speed. The Wildcat groans, the wings flexing under the strain. His 20mm cannons open up, slow, lazy-looking red balls arcing past my cockpit. They look harmless until they hit something. Bandits on my 6! Lo, it's Jimmy's voice, tight with strain. I crane my neck, searching. There he is, down on the deck, a pair of zeros glued to his tail, their own tracers reaching for him. I can't get there in time, he's too low, too slow. Brake right, Jimmy, brake right! I'm screaming into the radio, pushing the throttle past the gate, diving so steeply the wind howls a death song in the wires. The altimeter is unwinding like a broken clock. I fire a long burst, a prayer of hot lead hoping to distract them, to pull them off him. One of them sees me and peels away, climbing to meet me. The other stays on Jimmy, relentless. The sun dips lower, painting the undersides of the clouds in fiery shades of orange and purple. Beautiful and deadly. The physics of dusk are a cruel master. Shapes disappear into the long shadows, then explode back into reality. The zero climbing towards me is a silhouette against the last light. I meet him head on. Neither of us flinches. We're two jousting knights in a sky of fire. His guns flash, mine answer. For a heartbeat, we're suspended, hurtling towards each other, tracers lacing the air between us. Then I'm past him, pulling up, heart hammering against my ribs. I look for Jimmy. He's gone. Just a long, greasy smear of smoke on the water's surface. A knot of ice forms in my stomach. No time. A call crackles through the headset, cutting through the grief. Bingo fuel. Repeat, bingo fuel. The voice is strained, almost a whisper. My own gauge is flirting with empty. The bombers are turning, their silver bodies catching the last rays of the sun as they head back out to sea. The fight is breaking up, a whirlwind of individual duels dissolving into a desperate scramble for survival. The zeros are disengaging, their job done. Ours is just beginning. The sky is now a deep, bruised purple. The last ember of the sun is gone. Below, the island is a black mass, a void. Finding Henderson is hard enough in daylight. At night, without lights, it's a ghost strip, a rumor of safety in a world of water and jungle. The real fight starts now. The fight to find home before the darkness swallows us whole. My hands are shaking, but I force them steady on the stick. Throttle back, conserve what little gas is left. The engine settles into a lower, reassuring hum. Now it's just me and the stars hunting for a patch of dirt in the middle of a vast, unforgiving ocean. The pilot's hands are shaking, not from fear, but from sheer exhaustion as the Wildcat bumps along the pierced steel planking of Henderson Field. The propeller ticks to a stop. He's back, but the sky is bleeding orange and purple. And that's the real story. The Japanese didn't choose sunset by accident. It was a calculated, brutal strategy. For their Betty bombers, dusk meant a better chance of slipping past interceptors. For their zeros, it meant they could hide in the sun's blinding glare, turning American pilots into silhouettes. And for the defenders, it meant a perilous, last-light recovery, trying to land on a cratered runway with fuel gauges kissing empty. This wasn't just a battle of machines. It was a battle of human systems. Miles away, hidden under jungle canopy, a coast watcher on a ridgeline would tap out a coded message on his radio. In the scratch-built command post of the Cactus Air Force, an officer would chalk altitudes and vectors onto a crude blackboard. On the flight line, ground crews, swatting away malaria-ridden mosquitoes, would heave belts of mixed ball and armor-piercing incendiary rounds into the wings of Wildcats and Corsairs. Every action was a link in a chain forged to fight the twilight. This is where the legends were born, not in grand speeches, but in the harsh lessons of the sky. You can hear it in the veterans' voices. Joe Foss, racking up his incredible tally often in those chaotic late-day scrambles. Marion Carl, with his cool emphasis on doctrine, use your advantage, dive, make a slashing pass, and extend away. Never ever get into a turning fight with a zero, it was a death sentence. The American pilots learned to choreograph their fight with the sun itself. They learned to climb early, to get up sun and own the high ground of the sky, forcing the zeros to look into the blinding light. They learned to drag pursuers over the flak batteries ringing Henderson Field, timing their intercepts so they'd have just enough fuel to survive the desperate landing pattern in the gathering dark. Then things began to shift. The next evolution arrived, not just as a piece of hardware, but as a change in culture. The F-4U Corsair, the Whistling Death, and later the F-6F Hellcat, brought overwhelming power, a staggering rate of climb, and a punch of 650 caliber machine guns. But more importantly, they brought a hardened discipline. The lone wolf duels gave way to the lethal geometry of wingman tactics. A leader and his wingman fighting as a single unit, covering each other's six, making the last light fight not just survivable, but winnable. This new generation of planes and pilots began to systematically dismantle the myth of the Zero-S invincibility. As darkness finally claims the field, the fight isn't over. It just changes form. Under the flickering glow of maintenance lamps, armorers wipe the grime and powder fouling from gun barrels. The air is thick with the smell of oil, sweat, and cordite. Somewhere out past Savo Island, the dark shapes of the Tokyo Express steam south. Another convoy of troops and supplies for the island. The battle on the ground will rage through the night. And everyone here knows with a grim certainty that tomorrow's sunset will bring more shadows, more zeros, and another fight for the sky. The year is 1944. 2 years have passed, 2 years of dust, salt, and blood. The skies over the Pacific are a different kind of battlefield now. The names on the map have changed. The Philippine Sea, the Marianas. Our pilot, the one we followed from the beginning, is older. The boyish excitement is gone, replaced by a quiet, hardened professionalism. He's no longer in a Wildcat. He's strapped into the cockpit of an F-6F Hellcat, a beast of a machine, purpose-built for this exact moment. The sun hangs low and orange, a familiar enemy and a welcome friend. It glints off the vast steel expanse of Task Force 58, a city of carriers and warships stretching to the horizon. It's the magic hour, the golden hour, the hour the Japanese love to strike. They know our carriers are most vulnerable at dusk when pilots are tired, low on fuel, and facing the terrifying prospect of a night landing. The voice in his headset is impossibly calm, a voice from another world. Vector 270, Angels 15. Multiple boogies inbound. The Combat Information Center. They see everything, a web of radar returns and plots. For the pilots, it's a different story. They see the dying sun, the endless blue below, and a sky that is about to erupt. Every man in the air is doing the math, calculating fuel against time, distance, and the terrifying possibility of a swim. And then he sees them. Not the graceful, almost fragile silhouettes of 1942. These are the A6M50s, the improved models. They are heavier, faster, and pack a bigger punch. But in the right hands, they're still the same deadly dancers. Get slow with one, try to turn and burn, and it'll slice you out of the sky before you can call for help. The tactics are ingrained now, a brutal rhythm learned over countless sorties. Energy is life, height is advantage. Boom and zoom. Never ever get into a turning fight. He shoves the throttle forward, the big Pratt & Whitney engine roaring. The Hellcat doesn't dance, it clubs. He picks his target, a zero silhouetted against the setting sun. He dives. The world narrows to the glowing pipper on his gun sight. He can feel the Zero pilot's desperation, the sharp, almost panicked turn. But the Hellcat has the momentum. He leads the target, waits for that perfect moment of deflection, and squeezes the trigger. The plane shudders as the 650 caliber machine guns tear into the sky. He sees flashes, little sparks of light walking across the enemy's wing route, smoke blossoms. The Zero falters, its dance broken, and spirals down toward the darkening sea. There's no time for triumph. The sky is a chaotic melee. Break right, bandit on your six. The CIC's voice cuts through the static. He rolls hard, the G-forces pressing him into his seat. A stream of 7.7mm tracers zips past his canopy, sounding like pebbles hitting a steel drum. The Hellcat's armor shrugs them off. He's grateful for the weight, the thick plate behind his seat that the Zero pilots traded for agility. He reverses his turn, pulling the nose up, searching. Another Zero flashes across his path, banking hard, its pilot clearly a veteran. This one wants a knife fight. He resists the urge, extending away, climbing back into the vertical. Boom and zoom! It's a mantra. He rolls over the top, diving again. This time the pass is perfect. The Zero fills his sight, and he gives it a long, disciplined burst. The enemy plane comes apart, shedding pieces of metal that glint in the last rays of sunlight, too, but the cost is fuel. The needle on the gauge is dropping at an alarming rate. The sun is gone now, leaving only a deep purple bruise on the horizon. The calm voice is back in his ear. Paddles is waiting. All aircraft, begin your return for recovery. The carrier is a distant speck, its lights just beginning to wink on. A night landing. A fuel-starved night landing. It's one of the most dangerous things a pilot can do. As he banks toward home, a flicker of movement catches his eye. A lone Zero, low and fast, hugging the waves. It's not running, it's heading straight for the fleet, for the carriers. A final desperate attack. He does the math again. The fuel, the distance, the time. He has enough for one more pass. One more run. But it will leave him with absolutely nothing in the tank. If he misses, if the landing is waved off, he's going for a swim in the black. He looks at the single enemy plane, a final threat to his home. Then he looks toward the faint, welcoming lights of the carrier deck. The choice is his. Press the attack and risk it all, or save himself and trust the guns of the fleet to do the job. The stick feels heavy in his hand. The moment arrives, etched against a dying sun. Our pilot, heart hammering against his ribs, commits. He pushes the stick forward into a high-side dive, the sun directly at his back, a blinding glare for the enemy below. One measured, disciplined burst of 50 caliber fury. He sees it connect. The Zero, that once feared phantom of the skies, falters, then rolls away, trailing a plume of black smoke and angry orange flame. And then, silence. A profound, ringing emptiness, broken only by the hum of his own engine. He looks at his gauges. The fuel needle kisses 0. Below, the Pacific Ocean has turned from a shimmering blue canvas to an endless black abyss. The fight is over, but the battle for survival has just begun. The narrative turns inward, a frantic, intimate sprint back to the carrier. The horizon has vanished, swallowed by the darkness. His world shrinks to the dim glow of his instrument panel and the crackle of static in his ears. He's flying on fumes and a prayer, his eyes straining for the faint life-saving silhouette of the flat top. Then a voice cuts through the static, a lifeline in the void. It's the landing signal officer, the LSO, calm and steady. Paddles is talking him home. His approach is shaky, his exhaustion a heavy weight. The LSO's voice crackles again. Wave off. Wave off! A gut-wrenching command. He pours the coals to the engine, the tired metal screaming as he climbs away, his heart sinking with the knowledge that he has just one more chance. He circles around, hands slick with sweat, fighting the sickness of vertigo. He lines up again, the LSO's words guiding him down, inch by agonizing inch. The carrier deck is a tiny moving postage stamp in the vast unforgiving sea. He feels the jolt, a violent, beautiful deceleration as the tailhook catches a wire. He's down, he's safe. The relief is so overwhelming it's a physical blow, leaving him breathless and trembling in his cockpit. For others, the story ended differently, a controlled ditch into the cold. Black water, the sea foam glowing a ghostly green in the light of a circling Dumbo PBY Catalina. Their long night just beginning. This was the turning point. By mastering the sun, by owning position, energy, and timing, American pilots systematically dismantled the myth of the Zero's invincibility. They turned twilight from an enemy into a powerful ally. The closing images of the Pacific War are painted in these hues. Grumman wildcats weaving their defensive Thach Weave in the skies over Guadalcanal. Vought Corsairs, the whistling death, howling through orange clouds above Okinawa. Hellcats slamming onto carrier decks under blackout blue lights, their fuel tanks bone dry. The sun had become their weapon. But victory always comes at a cost. The story doesn't end with caught wires and cheering deck crews. It ends quietly in the ready room. It's in the names hastily wiped from a chalkboard. The empty chairs that will never be filled. The letters home that will never be written. It's in the memory of the setting sun. The silent witness that framed so many final, fateful decisions. Each sunset was a reminder of those who flew towards it and never returned. These are the moments where light, luck, and hard-won lessons decided the fate of nations. If you want to uncover more of these untold stories from the Air War, where strategy and courage were measured against the setting sun, make sure you subscribe and join us for our next chapter. Thanks for watching.